Well, hello, everyone. So, I made a video yesterday, and it's really unlike any video that I've ever made because it's on real world events, and it can be a little controversial for some. But I decided to make it anyway just because, I want to get my voice out there, like, in a way, but some of the people who I showed the video to and some of the people who just watched it on their own kind of took it the wrong way. So I'm just here as like this is gonna be like a behind the scenes type video, just explaining everything what I meant in this video. And the first thing I'm gonna start off with is the comment that I made. It's the pinned comment on the original video, and it's also in the description. It says, "In no way am I supporting riots. I support protests, but not riots. The title of this film is sarcastic, along with other things. I'm also not speaking for Panic Land. I'm just using their song. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They're pretty kick-ass, though, which they are. If you guys hear any background noise, that's just my cats. But, yeah, so now that we have that out of the way, I'm just here to explain the choices I made with this video because a lot of it seems bad on the outside, but my meaning behind it is like completely different from what other people might think. And I'm not I'm not shitting on anyone right now. I'm just saying that it's criticism, and I can take criticism. That's okay. They just didn't really understand what I was going for, and some of the stuff that I might say might come off as me being like a pretentious dick, but this is what was going on through my mind while I was making this video. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna throw the headphones on and pause whenever I feel like it, just to explain some stuff, because this is only a 4.5 minute video, so it's not I can't ramble on for too long while it's playing. So, okay, so play. So, so it opens with like the most popular MLK speech ever, which is "I Have a Dream," which was told on the March on Washington and all that stuff. And I really like this opening that I did. It fades in. Okay, pause. Okay, so the first like kind of not so great thing that I did, maybe it might seem like that to some people, is that first of all, this footage is taken from the New York Times, so I want to give them credit. I left their logo in the corner there, but this shows George Floyd's unconscious body as the cop was putting his knee on his neck. Now, obviously, what happened was extremely tragic, and I don't want to say that I used it for shock value, because that kind of seems like a dick thing to say. Like, oh, I used his death for shock value. No, that's really not what I was trying to go for. It's just more so the irony, because MLK, that's his most popular speech, is "I Have a Dream." You know, that's what we were all taught in elementary school whenever it came to him. And overlaying that with George Floyd's death shows that his dream has not been fully realized, is what I was going for. So, that, and it also shows the reality of the situation. Like, yes, this did happen. Sadly, this is what some cops do. Not all cops. I'm just saying that some cops are like this, and it's resulted in the death of several black men and women around the world. I'm just saying. I'm not going to get into the statistics or anything, because I know that, police brutality and all that stuff. I'm just saying that this happened, and it's what sparked the riot, so I'm just putting the spotlight on it in the beginning of this video. Okay? So now that we got that out of the way, we can keep playing this video. And that'll come in at the end of the video, too. The "free at last" quote. This is MLK speaking about riots. They're destructive and self-defeating. So I tried to really make it clear here that I was against riots in the first half of the video, because the second half goes like really off the rails. Okay, pause. So this thing right here, people are wondering why, because this is Ashton speaking right now. He's going to be talking for like the remainder of the first half of the video. So what Ashton did is he posted something on a private Snapchat story, basically speaking his mind on the protests and what happened. And everything that he said I completely agree with. Basically, the long and short of it is that peaceful protesting is okay, but the riots are not. People work their lives for businesses, and people make the argument that buildings aren't as important as people's lives, but in a way they kind of are, because especially if you're burning down a local like small business, someone who worked their lives for that business, and if you burn it down, that's really like crippling their whole thing that's going on there. But anyway, so obviously it goes from Dr. King's like very booming, because MLK has that voice. Some of you guys might not know what I'm talking about, but he has the voice where if he talks, you listen like right away. No matter what it is, you'll listen because he has that voice. And in a way, that's kind of how I feel about Ashton's voice, because Ashton is one of the smartest people that I know. And if he argues with something or against something, then I listen. That's just how it goes. So his voice has the same effectiveness as Dr. King's does, I think, in my personal opinion. And then people were also wondering, why didn't I use my own voice here? Well, not only is his a lot more genuine, because he was the one, because he didn't know that I was going to put his words in this video. So, in my opinion, it feels a lot more genuine, and I thought it would be interesting to make something that has nothing to do with me. All I did was edit this. I did not film anything in it, and I did not, say anything in it. And, all the stuff that I've done, like, regarding Blue Hat Productions, like, whenever I, rebooted it, so to say, it's all been, like, experimental stuff that I've never done before. Like, Blue Hat Productions is back was a stupid thing that made no sense. Intruder on Waters Avenue was a silent film that, black and white, which I've never done before. A rogue group of pirates and knights have a confrontation that involves a ship, a castle, and a mouse that can very well devour them all. That was an action figure film, and that was with stop motion, and I've never done that before. The Hiccups was trash. I don't know why I even made that one. And then My Cat the Landlord was the first time that I ever used green screen. So this falls in the same line as being sort of experimental, because it's not directly my thoughts. Like, everything that Ashton says and that Dr. King says, I completely agree with, but it's not me saying them. And I feel like it comes off as a little more genuine, and it just makes a little more sense. That, and I wanted to see how it would be like if I didn't use any of my voice in it. And then one person that I showed the video to took it as I was mocking him in this first half, which no, because I could have just used Dr. King quotes, but Ashton's words are obviously a lot more relevant in this situation because he's talking about this stuff. So I just wanted to make it like very clear that I was siding with him and getting the words out a little more directly, because the second half of the video goes a little crazy. So anyway, fade in, go back to MLK. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took this from ABC News, and this was the march on Philadelphia that happened a few days ago, which is what people should be doing, I think. But notice how this stuff is in color, and the riots are in black and white for most of the video, because we're going to get back to that. I originally had like 3 minutes of Ashton talking, but I had to cut it down by a lot because I didn't want this video to be too long. Okay, notice how a riot is the language of the unheard. That's like quiet, because it quickly, because that marks the end of the first half of the video. The second half erupts into just showing the riots. And also, going back to the peaceful protests, I know that the media is more focused on the riots, and I didn't want to seem like a hypocrite because I don't like how they're just showing riots. So not only that, but I just wanted to show the peaceful protests just to show that they were happening. And I'm pretty sure the peaceful protests, there's, I think, more of them than riots that are going on. You guys could prove me wrong, I don't know. I think that there's more peaceful protests. So it deserves, the clock's gonna go, but anyway, so it deserves its own little nugget of the video to show that peaceful protests are going on, and I support it, and then it quickly, all hell breaks loose in this clip, so. Oh yeah, okay. You turn that down a little bit. So, yeah, so I edited, because if you guys don't know about Panicland, they made a fake Green Day album. Nice. I really love the cuts that I did here. But anyway, so Panicland made a fake Green Day album, and everyone thought that it was real. And I think that, okay, let me pause there because I have something to explain in this clip. So they made a fake, and they released 5 songs from it, and eventually they're gonna release the whole album, and it's actually like really, really good. And this is one of the songs in the album. So I guess I might as well explain the song choice, because, Ashton and one other person thought that, the video was a lot more powerful whenever it was just, like, speaking, and, like, the music kind of, takes away from the whole point of it. And really my excuse for that is that if this whole video was just showing, MLK quotes and Ashton talking, then it wouldn't nearly be as powerful to drive the point home. I feel like if I have this music, which is, yes, it is glorifying riots and non-peaceful protesting, but the thing is about that is that I'm putting it over the destruction that riots cause. That's the main thing, is that yes, the song glorifies riots, and that's the truth, but the fact of the matter is that riots cause a ton of destruction, and if you take that back to the beginning of the video, it causes more problems than they solve. And using this really upbeat rocker like song, it glorifies protesting, but it directly shows while the song is playing that it's not okay, because people are burning down businesses and they're stealing from businesses. And this part right here, which I overlaid over the lyric, "Today's the day you die," and I'm not even going to put on the headphones for this, but this right here I took from NBC, and right here, I don't know if this guy was looting or if he was just there, but cops were arresting him for whatever reason. I don't know exactly what for, but I mean, you see the cop on the left is putting his knee on his neck, like what Derek, last name, I forget his full name, like the cop Derek did to George Floyd. And I cut this out of the video mainly just for shock value and to show that this could easily happen if riots get out of hand. Cops could do stuff like this, but the cop on the right who was handcuffing the guy, actually, once again, I cut it out of the video, but he actually pushed push the other cop's knee away from his neck. So people might say that I think that all cops are bad for whatever reason, but no, clearly not, because it's it it seems like he's not resisting arrest at all, and that's if he's not resisting arrest, there's no reason to put your knee on his neck, and the cop on the right made sure that that was not happening. So take a stand. I love this. Might be my favorite song. This might be my favorite song from Magnum Opus, their fake Green Day album. And notice how it cuts. It's in color, which comes in right now. Okay. So, this imagery seems very bad on the outside if you take it the wrong way. And I realized that I didn't really, because in my mind, it's my mentality. And whenever I hear criticism from another person, I'm like, oh, yeah, I get what you're saying, because this shows fire burning over Dr. King. And basically, what this means, what I was going for, was that the rioters, who are not learning from history at all, are burning down his ideals and completely forgetting about it. Because notice how the fire is in color, and Dr. King is in black and white. So Dr. King is obviously in black and white because this happened decades ago, and his words are still very relevant to today. And notice how all the rioting clips are in black and white, but the peaceful protests are in color, because color in this video represents like modern times. Like, this is what we should be doing, and that's why peaceful protests are in color. And then the riots are in black and white because it shows like this is old time stuff. Like, we've learned that riots are not going to solve the problem, so why are we doing them? That's why it's in black and white. And that's sort of the symbolism that I was trying to go for, because it shows flashes of color just to show that it's sort of like seeping through. Like, riots are becoming more commonplace across the globe because other people are doing them, and people think that it's okay when it's not, I think. So it erupts from a fire to an explosion, and then the rest of the rioting clips are all in color. Not only does it show, because I was kind of against showing the rioting clips in black and white, because obviously it involves fire, so showing that red glow would really, I think it would make it a little more visually appealing. But luckily I was able to have a chance to do that at the end of the video. So, what else am I missing? I don't know. I had something else to explain, but I forget what it was. So, yeah, that's my bad on that part. So, this is not me burning down Dr. King's ideals or anything. This is showing that the rioters are leaving the past behind, and they think that rioting is going to solve the problem. Okay? Okay. Oh, also, his speaking, because this is him talking about rioting, but it's kind of clouded by the music, just to show that the rioting is taking over the music, and it corresponds with the explosion. I think it's cool, but anyway. Alright. By the way, I cut down "If They Take a Stand" to 1 minute and 43 seconds from a 3-minute song, so that was fun to do. And notice how it's all in color, and "Stand" is boom, fireworks. One thing that I wish I did was raise your hands, or take a stand, whichever one it was. I wish I cut back to pictures, because I forgot to do that there, but anyway. It took me 4 hours to edit this, okay? I need a break whenever it comes to this video, because I haven't watched this since yesterday, but anyway. Great again, which is where the title comes from, Make This Riot Great Again. This is my favorite part, where it cuts to Okay. That is my favorite part of the video, where it cuts at the very end of the song. And then here we have, it revisits what happened at the beginning of this video, because, well, let me just play it. So, Free at Last, if you guys know your early filmmaking history, or like obscure filmmaking history, you guys would know that George Lucas's first film that he ever made was something called Look at Life. And it had nothing to do with George Lucas. It was really just him, like, it showed hectic music over the stuff that was going on in society back in 1965. And that's kind of what I was trying to go for with this. I took a lot of inspiration from Look at Life, mostly from this last part, because the way that Look at Life ends, it ends with anyone for survival, and it goes away from you, kind of like the Star Wars crawl. If you think about it, it zooms out and it fades into end, and then a question mark, and then the film ends. So what I was going for, because I wanted something like this where it went like away from you. My original mentality was BLM, Black Lives Matter, and that was gonna fade out. And then I thought about the question mark, and I'm just like, no, but I really want the question mark in there. And if I put Black Lives Matter fading into a question mark, that literally makes no sense. So I decided I might tie it into the first half of the video, or at the very beginning, regarding the death of George Floyd, and Free at Last fading into a question mark shows that Dr. King's dream has not been fully realized, and black men are still getting killed and being treated unfairly by a lot of people in the world. Because if you think about it, everyone learned about Dr. King back in elementary school, and I'm pretty sure our mentality back then, you know, like as young kids, it's like, oh, people didn't accept blacks before, and MLK stopped racism, and now racism is no more, and everyone's all hunky-dory. Well, sadly, that's not the reality. That's just what I thought, at least back in elementary school, whenever I learned about them. Because, you know, it makes no sense to discriminate black people just because they're black. And same goes for Asians, Hispanics, Russians, whatever. You know, it's not right for us as humans to be doing that. So that's, and I use the full Free at Last quote. The one at the beginning of the video was like cut, so it would be shorter to correspond with the length of the George Floyd clip. So it shows that not all blacks are free at last. That's why it fades into that question mark, and then it fades completely to black. And then I was going to leave the headphones off for this part, and then it fades to black. And then these are the credits. Once again, the only thing that I did for this video was I edited it. I took videos and words that were not mine and, you know, put it into one big video. And then I made an all-black Blue Eye Productions logo for this also. So I turned the blue part of the pill logo completely black, just to, you know, sort of fit with what was going on, especially on Blackout Tuesday, which was when everyone posted a black screen on Instagram and other social media platforms, I'm sure. But and that's it. That's the end of the video. Yep, fade to black. And then there we go. So hopefully I have justified all the things that have happened, because people thought that I was siding with riots, and once again the video lost meaning whenever the song played. Once again, it was my mentality, so everything, all the choices that I made sense, but I realized that some of it might be a stretch if you're thinking about it from an outsider perspective, which I completely understand. So, I apologize if I've offended anyone by that video. I'm not gonna edit it at all or take it down. The only way that I'll take down the video if one, YouTube takes it down for whatever reason. Two, if Ashton doesn't want his voice in the video, which I don't know why he wouldn't. He seemed alright with it whenever I told him to go watch the video. And even if that was a problem, I would just dub my own voiceover because once again, I used his voice because I didn't want to copy, because everything what he said was like exactly what I wanted to put in the video, and I wasn't going to copy his words verbatim because it seems like, I was copying his whole thing. And then three, which is unlikely, but if Panic Land wants me to take down the video because I used their song that glorifies protest, because that song released in March, I think, before all this stuff happened. So that song has nothing to do with the riots that are going on right now. I'm just going to make that clear right now. So check out that song and check out them because they're pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. If you guys want me to explain anything, because I feel like I'm leaving out something important, the comment section is open. If you guys comment on the original video, I'm just going to link you this video. But if you guys still have questions, comments are open in this video if you guys want a little more clarity on some stuff. So this was a really long video. I was not expecting it to get this long. So I had some schoolwork to do, and I'm sick and tired of looking at this video because I spent 3.5, 4 hours editing it, and I need to edit this video too. I'll see you guys next week because I still have a video that needs to be edited that I shot last week. So yeah, I'll catch back with you guys next week. Until then, stay safe everyone, and yeah, bye.